Tell you this disclaimer. This is role play. It's for a classroom assignment, and it's not a real counseling session. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. So what brings you in today?
Well, basically, I just want to talk about God
Okay, no problem with that.
and how I feel about a lot of things in with this generation that's going on that I just don't like. I
Mhm.
don't know if I'm not old school, my parents are, but I'm not. But it's just how I see things, and I just don't really feel comfortable with it. Okay, well,
Well, tell me how you feel. What's on your mind?
Well, basically, you know how now this generation everybody's having sex and everything about that. I don't like that. I feel like you should wait till marriage because God knows what He's talking about when He says wait till marriage.
Mhm.
I feel like because a lot of girls on my basketball team, there's only two girls that's not a virgin, two girls that are virgins on the team,
Mhm.
and it's me and one of my friends named Gabby. We the only two, and we're the two that's really big on God too. And
Mhm.
everybody else they lost it when they were like 14, 15. It's
Mhm.
horrible. Like
Mhm. And what age are you now?
16.
So how does that really make you feel? Does that make you feel proud? Does that make you feel pressured that you want to do it? How do you feel about that?
I'm proud of myself because I know when to say no. Like I
Right.
feel like if I get into a relationship with a boy, that don't mean you have to do anything.
Exactly.
That's why
Exactly.
you can't you have to find a boy that's okay with not trying to do it with you and feel
Mhm.
comfortable and waiting when you want to wait, not just pressure. I feel like they're pressured because they just want to have sex with them. That's all they want. They don't
Mhm.
really want a real solid relationship. And those boys go to those girls because they know they will do it.
Exactly.
They
They're just
won't,
using them.
yeah, they won't go to me because they know I'm saying no. They know I'm a fighting for what I believe in. I just my legs closed.
Mhm.
Anyway, like what really hurt me was when we had a basketball game and our mindset was supposed to be on basketball.
Right.
And this girl was like, I can't wait because usually it was an away game, so usually we have like our practice in athletics, and then after
Mhm.
athletics we'll chill for about 10, 20 minutes, and then we get
Mhm.
on the bus to go to the game. So during 20 minutes, two of my teammates went and had sex and then came back and then we went on the bus. And I didn't
Before
like
y'all
that
had the
before
game.
the game, and I did not like that at all because I felt that was disrespectful. One, two, we're trying to win.
Mhm.
Our focus is supposed to be on basketball. We're committed to basketball. We should not be doing anything else, worried about
Right.
anything else. And then they did that, and they came back and was laughing like everything was funny. That me and a lot of my teammates were mad.
Right. Because you could feel like as if, and tell me if I'm wrong, if like you're disrespecting yourself because it's supposed to be God made it to where it's between two people like a man and a woman being wife and husband, to where he made it to where it's a deep connection between two people, and it's not supposed to be like, oh, I'm just gonna do it, and there's no
Yeah,
meaning, there's no love, there's no passion, there's like nothing behind it, and it's not meant to be a joke. God didn't
yeah,
put anything on this earth for it to be a joke, so it could be disrespectful to themselves, disrespectful to the situation, and most importantly disrespectful to God, because that's not what he intended it to be. You
yeah,
know,
and
people don't have it in their minds like how it's supposed to be. They, like you said, they take it as a joke, but it's not supposed to be funny.
yeah, like he said in the Bible, he said, wait till marriage for a reason. He knows that if you do not wait till you're married and you just do it to do it, you'll be stuck on that person. Now,
Mhm.
God knows he said that for a reason. If you, in the
Mhm.
Bible, and you read that and you just read over it,
Mhm.
then that's your problem. But all I know is you know it's a sin and you know not to do it, so why do it?
Mhm.
And I feel like that's why girls nowadays, they be so stuck on that one boy because they had sex or whatever. And
Mhm.
that's why God said not to do that. You
Mhm.
gave It's like when you do that, it's like you're exchanging souls.
Right.
So it's like that's why God said to do it with your husband and not just some random person you're not gonna probably remember in a couple of years.
Right. Because
It's
your mind's not there,
Yeah,
and
it's supposed to be
then
a good
yeah.
special moment. And
Mhm.
that's why girls nowadays are pregnant and all that type of stuff, and they have a baby mama drama on Maury, Jerry's finger,
Yeah.
because it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to have like a nice time, not
Right.
just do it because you just feel like you want to do it. If
Mhm.
you feel like you want to do it, go to sleep.
Because in all honesty, God never makes any mistakes. He doesn't make
Yeah,
mistakes in his children, and he doesn't make mistakes in anything he does or any situation that takes place. And with that being said, it's like people are supposed to trust him more, and to knowing that he's going to find you the right one or help you find the right one. You don't have to lower your standards or do something just because somebody else wants you to do it. You need to think
yeah,
about does God want you to do that?
Yeah.
Or how does God feel about me doing this? It's like you need to have a reevaluation of yourself and to think about kind of about where you are in life or you want to be in life and why you're doing these things. Does that make sense? Right.
And I just, God is the God is the reason for the season. He don't
Hmm.
just talk just to talk. He made these instructions for you before he left,
Right.
or before Jesus left. Which you know,
I know what you mean.
yeah. But he made those instructions of how you're supposed to live if you want to make it into heaven. Now
Hmm.
God knows His children. He know not everybody's 100% sinful. Everybody,
Imperfect. Right.
yeah. He knows that. That's why Adam and Eve was here. They,
Hmm.
if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be in these bad situations nowadays. Just because they ate the apple, heathens. But anyway,
Hmm.
um, yeah, he gave us instructions and told us what to do before how to live if we wanted to make it into heaven. Now, he said it don't matter if a sin is big or if it's small. Sin is a sin.
Hmm.
He don't really stay on that sin either. If you sin, he gonna move past it. That's how much he loves us.
Exactly.
He not gonna stay on you just because you have a sin. Like, oh, I ain't gonna bless her now because remember that sin. He not gonna do that. He just gonna forgive you and just keep it going. But
Hmm.
he's also not forgetting either. He
Hmm.
remembers that, and he just wants you to keep moving. And
Hmm.
that's one reason why I really love God.
Yeah.
Because now that's why it's a big difference between God and man. See, if it was
Yeah.
a man, they wouldn't forgive you for that. If
Exactly.
you did them bad, they
Hmm.
gonna dwell on that. Remember that time? I don't think I should do this to her. Remember when she did that to me? They not gonna do that. Some people are out there though. They're nice
Hmm.
enough to forgive, but a lot of people they just horrible. They won't do that, and
Hmm.
that's why I love God.
Right. So how would you feel about this? Let's say you were in a situation to where you were with somebody for maybe 2 or 3 years and they never pressured you to do anything you didn't want to do. That's one of the reasons why you were with them. Like you said, you do what you want to do. So let's say 2 or 3 years pass and the guy says, okay, I really love you or I really like you and we've been together for a while. And they talked about, having sexual intercourse among one another. How would you feel about that, or what would you honestly do, or how would you go about that situation?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. Cause a lot of my friends has been in that type of situation where it's just bound to happen because they just in love like that. Until
Mhm.
y'all gonna be in love till y'all like forever, which it rarely happens.
Mhm.
But like my friend's parents, like my best friend parents, her and her husband were high school sweethearts, and they
Mhm.
knew they was gonna be off together. That's a different story. Like if y'all
Mhm.
high school sweethearts and y'all be together until y'all real married, that's different. But I just that's a good question though. I never really thought of it that way. But
Mhm.
I mean, God still says wait till you're married though. You just
Mhm.
gotta have those morals,
Mhm.
you just really gotta learn, God puts you in those type of situations to see how you gonna get out of it.
Mhm.
And I feel like if he said he wants y'all to be together for that long, then that means y'all not and y'all if y'all do be in a relationship for about 3 or 4 years and then y'all automatically break up, then
It's like you stuck. Yeah.
yeah. And then again, that's why God said wait till marriage. And if y'all relationship for 3 or 4 years and y'all get married,
Mhm.
if that's different,
Mhm.
then I understand that. But if y'all still just boyfriend and girlfriend, I mean, that's a hard that's a hard question right there. But
It's kind of like you gotta wait till the situation comes to
mhm,
get a real feel for it because everybody's situation is different. You could have more feelings towards that situation or less feelings towards the situation. You could be still saying the same things that you're saying now. My head's still strong. I know what I want. Nobody can change it. Or you could be like, you know what? I'm a little bit older. I have a better understanding. Maybe it's a little different. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Every situation is not the same. So it's hard to say in the future, talk about the future when the future isn't really here
yeah,
kind of thing. Does that make sense?
yeah. But
Oh, go ahead.
it just dang like this world is really crazy.
Mhm.
And these boys are really crazy. They'll really have you thinking. Like I know one of my friends said she got leaded on to
Mhm.
the fullest. Like that the boy was just talking to her for about a couple of years
Mhm.
just so he could do that to her,
And
and
he
then
already
left
knew.
her.
Yeah, he already
And
knew.
I was like. dang, bro, these boys are nothing. They really
They don't care how long it
they
takes.
don't. They want what they want.
They want what they want.
They think what they did. That's what.
Hmm.
That's how I feel. They think what they don't think what they don't think how that girl gonna be feel and treated after the fact.
And that's something you got to think about. Like, will that person even care that I feel upset? Will they care that I feel sad? Will they care about me after this situation? Will the situation change? Will it not change? Kind of thing. You got to keep that in the back of your mind
Mhm.
when you want to make tough situations like that. And when you do have tough situations, something that you could possibly do is, what would Jesus do? How would Jesus feel? Would he want me in this situation? Would he not want me in this situation?
Yeah.
And then if the situation is too hard to grasp and to asking that question, you can take it bit by bit. Say, okay, if Jesus felt something about this, not the situation, but about this thing that's going on, how could he handle it? How would he handle it? And then you can go over to the next part of the situation, and the next part, and the next part, and then take it by bits and pieces into knowing, and getting a better
Mhm.
understanding of the whole situation in general. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So does that kind of help in
Mhm.
what we were talking about?
Yeah.
And then I know heard you say earlier you were talking about your friend's parents that you said they were high school sweethearts.
Mhm.
So when did they know they were high school sweethearts?
Like when you just that in love and y'all you don't look at nobody else but that one person.
Hmm.
You go to sleep thinking about that person. You wake up thinking about that person. You pray to God about that person. It's just true love. God let that happen for a reason.
Right.
And some people do have that type of stuff and then still break up. And it's just a high school thing.
Hmm.
But if you really in love, like I guess they were, because they had the same birthdays, they
Hmm.
had, they were same age, born the same day, everything like that. So it was destined to happen. They really liked each other. As soon
Hmm.
as they seen each other, they made each other, their eyes just fell in love. And that's just how it is. But that really happens. Hopefully that happened to me or whoever's in that
Hmm.
situation. But God, He'll take you through the storm to get to the sunshine.
There you go.
So,
So,
yeah.
so have you thought about, okay, you said somebody's high school sweetheart with you, and then what if they do the same thing that you said in a past conversation we just had a minute ago? You said how they just end up just using you. What if they do all that and then they still end up using you? What if it's that situation? They can act like, because people nowadays, they'll act like something that they're not to get what they want. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So what if they do that same thing? It's like you gotta really protect yourself.
Yeah.
And when you're unsure about something, it helps to talk to somebody like in a counseling session, or just talking to somebody like a close family member, like a sister or brother, if you don't feel comfortable with your parents, or even going to church and talking
Hmm.
about that situation. And most importantly, going and talking to God and reading your Bible and knowing what you're talking about and how to deal with things. Because it's like everything that happens is in the Bible. Like, God has an answer to everything.
Hmm.
God has an answer to every prayer. You know what I mean? And He's gonna lead you. He's not gonna steer you wrong. You know what I mean? But you know what? That's a good mind that you have, that you gonna wait till marriage to have sex. Because a lot of people, they don't think like that. They just think like it's just something that just happens, and they
Yeah.
don't know the background behind why God intended it to be the way it is.
Hmm.
God didn't make things, like I said previously, just to go with the flow and just to be there. He has a direct position on why He feels about things and why He feels that way. And it's like I see His image in you, because you're being very firm and very stern, as He would want His children on earth to be. Because He doesn't want us to take anything for granted.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to say, okay, well, God made that, and if I sin, and I know that I sin, He's gonna forgive me anyway.
Yeah.
I don't like, me personally, when I see people make assumptions like that.
I don't like that.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like you're using God. And He's gonna forgive you, but God knows. He knows what you're doing. That's why He made all of us. He knows what's gonna happen. In 20 years from now, you
Hmm.
personally, and what's gonna happen that very moment. He knows if you're using Him. I don't know exactly what he gonna do, but He's not gonna
Hmm.
make it easy.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like again with this sexual stuff, like I don't get how people like nowadays the people of my grade how they can keep it away from their parents and stuff like that. That's why
Hmm.
one reason why God said not to do it, because He knows you're gonna have you don't. That's something you don't just tell your mama.
Hmm.
and your mama not gonna feel proud of you just doing
Mm-hmm.
that. So it's like you gotta keep it away from your parents. That's too much. It just be it'd
Mm-hmm.
rather be safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if God says and intended you to not have it, not to do it, then don't do it.
So, do you feel like as time goes on, the generations are getting worse with
Yes.
it?
Yes, because they feel like they have to have it because everybody else is doing it. It's like everybody
Uh-huh.
follows each other. That's
Yeah.
why you just gotta you gotta stick to yourself. And the only person at the end of the day you're gonna be in that casket by yourself.
And the only
Nobody
person you're
else.
gonna have is yourself and God. You're not
Yeah.
gonna be with nobody else. You're not gonna have no ties to anybody else. It's like, and at the end of the day, who are you gonna face? You're gonna
Exactly.
face
You're just gonna face
face
God.
God.
Nobody God's gonna stand up there by himself with Jesus by himself. Nobody else. Not your
Mm-hmm.
friend. Nobody like that. So you don't gotta put on the front. Just be real about it. You know?
Exactly.
I don't see why everybody has to follow each other because they feel like it's cool. They need to do it. No,
Right.
it's not that serious. Just be your own person. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
God made you by yourself. Not made. He didn't make birth you out the womb with your friend.
Exactly.
So it's crazy. But I'm glad that I'm strong enough to hold my ground. You know,
Mm-hmm.
with
That's
these
good.
boys nowadays, you got to be rude to them to
Mm-hmm.
let them get the
Get
hint
the point.
that this ain't that I'm not a like person you could just have sex
Mm-hmm.
with and just go. No, if you want a
Mm-hmm.
relationship with me, you got
Yeah.
to be real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to just sit here and waste my time, basically.
Yeah. And a
So,
lot of people, they feel like it's a necessity.
mhm,
Like, I have to have it. I need it. I needed to have this relationship, or I needed to have this person. And it's just like,
or help you feel good.
yeah, and it's just like, if you feel that way, you're doing it all for the wrong reasons, which God already knew was going to happen.
Mhm,
And that's why He didn't make it or intend for it to be that way. It's not a necessity. It's not something that you have to have. It's something that's supposed to be of a woman, a wife, and a man, a husband. It's not supposed to be meant for anybody else, you know. And it's like nowadays, it's like kids are getting younger and younger having this, you know, having sex, and they're not really considering why it was meant to be on this earth.
mhm,
It's not meant for young people. It's not meant for somebody that's just getting out of high school and things of that sort. It's meant for a wife and her husband. It's meant for a married couple.
exactly.
And it's like when you tell people this, they get upset,
They get
like,
offended.
or you're judging me, and like, no, I'm not judging you. It's more of educating you. And if you have done it, I'm not going to say anything is wrong with you. I'm not going to say anything because I'm not God. I cannot judge you.
Yeah.
But if you're feeling a certain way, I will help you and make you feel better about the situation, how you can move forward in your life. You could still be close to God even if you do have it. We're just saying it's not what He intended to
Mhm.
happen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, have you ran into any friends or any family members that think differently than what you do?
A lot of my friends, like, they be after basketball practice, they be like, "Oh, it's time for my appointment. It's time for." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Time to get some." I'm like, "All right, that's you." And that's not cute either. That's
Hmm.
not cute going around saying, "I'm about to give me some." That's no. What? Who does that?
Yeah.
It's childish and stupid. And to say that they're older than me and they think like that,
Hmm.
that makes me smarter than them. It don't matter what's your age. If you got
Hmm.
knowledge like that, you just got knowledge like that.
Hmm.
They're 17, 18, and they over here telling me about stuff like that. Like, it's basically okay for you to do it. And
Hmm.
they know it's not okay. That's why I don't understand people do stuff like that. And then go about it like it's like, but brush it off like I just did it. Oh well, I feel good
Hmm.
now. Like, no, that you look dumb, honestly.
So how does that make you feel when they try to talk to you and say it's okay to do that and you should do X, Y, and Z? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like I'm betrayed. Like, as a friend and as a older person that's older than me, you're supposed to be telling me, that's not right. Don't do it. I don't prefer you doing that type of stuff. Wait till you're married, stuff like that, or
Hmm.
at least wait till you get older. Don't do it right now. But they be like, do it if you feel like you want to do it. Go ahead and do it. If you're in a relationship with a boy and y'all really like each other, that's what y'all need to do. No, I don't even like kissing. I barely do that. I don't even
Hmm.
do that.
Hmm.
I kiss and she can call it a day, a hug. That's all I do, honestly, because I'm kind of scary anyway. I don't do that type of stuff, and I only hang out around people that's like me. Like, a
Hmm.
lot of my friends, almost all my friends are virgins. That's the only
Hmm.
ones I hang around with, and the ones that are not, I they're cool. I mess with them. I associate them, but we're not like cool friends,
Hmm.
like close. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, but you know what? Like I said in the beginning, the more that we're talking and the more that I'm understanding you, I see you have a really strong mind, and everybody moves at different speeds. Everybody feels a different way. Somebody can't tell you how to feel about something you already have previous knowledge on because
Mm-hmm.
it's like when your faith is high, nobody else can tell you different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm glad we had this talk. I enjoyed talking with you, and I would look forward to talking with you in the
Yes.
future.
I like to talk.